Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. I'm Beth Dujak, Florida Outreach Manager for the Monique Burr Foundation. Today, we're going to talk about parents as partners in prevention. And first and foremost, the Monique Burr Foundation believes it is an adult's responsibility to keep children safe. But we know that when parents, schools, organizations, and communities partner together and engage in safety education, kids are better protected. Most frequently, we get questions about who Monique was in terms of our name, the Monique Burr Foundation. Monique Burr was a child advocate in the Jacksonville area and unfortunately died tragically in a car accident in San Francisco, California, while celebrating her 10th wedding anniversary. A year after her death, a group of her friends and her husband wanted to continue her life's legacy, protecting children. And so in 1997, they founded the Monique Burr Foundation. The Monique Burr Foundation for Children has always been involved with grants and child advocacy and prevention education. And now the exclusive focus is prevention education and has been for about 13 years since our current CEO, Lynn Layton, came on board. We've developed programs for students in grades K through 12 that are comprehensive, based on research, evidence-based, informed, and more. So in terms of prevention education requirements for schools, a lot of states and schools have different mandates and policies, and they can vary from including mental and emotional health, substance use and abuse, bullying and cyberbullying requirements, internet safety requirements, human trafficking, and child sexual abuse. There are 37 other states that have passed a similar law to child sexual abuse prevention education, most commonly referred to as Aaron's Law. This requires schools teaching child sexual abuse prevention every year at each individual grade level. In terms of specifically Florida requirements, we have required health instruction mandates that have passed in the 2019-2020 school year. There was an inclusion of mental and emotional health education, substance use and abuse prevention education, in addition to child trafficking prevention education. In 2021, those requirements moved into Florida statute, requiring that prevention education in multiple topics. Just a few of those are listed here on the slide, but in multiple topics that would cover the mental and emotional health of students, substance use and abuse, internet safety, prevention of child sexual abuse, exploitation, and human trafficking, in addition to teen dating violence and abuse for grades 7 through 12. In 2013, there was an act passed known as the Jeffrey Johnston Stand Up for All Students Act. And it was passed in 2008, but amended in 2013 to include cyberbullying as well. There's even discussion of the possibility of social media risks being involved in the future. So why do we need prevention education in schools? Legislators and educators are recognizing that many children are exposed to violence, and this interrupts their school day and in addition to their academic success. And victimization is more common, and they're recognizing the value in prevention, that educating children has many potential benefits. So they are now making prevention topics a priority in schools. Keeping in mind that there are 76 million children in the United States, and 46 million can be expected to be touched by violence. Most importantly to note is that there's a misconception that education would take a child's innocence away, but experiences are what take a child's innocence. Children involved in school-based prevention education are more likely to be taught school-taught self-strategies, being proactive, having things in place when victimized or threatened. They're more likely to feel they were successful in protecting themselves and more likely to disclose to someone about the victimization attempts. And ultimately, prevention works. There's a lot of research in the field to show that these types of prevention programs are effective. Prevention programs can also improve school safety and climate. They're not only the benefits to individual students, but the school as a whole, and they can improve school data, such as lowering dropout rates, improving attendance, improving school environment, increasing test scores and academic achievement, and grade point averages. So what does this look like in your school or sound like in possibly your child's classroom? So MBF has 3 school-based programs. MBF Child Safety Matters programs for grades K through 5, the only comprehensive evidence-based program in the country, and MBF Teen Safety Matters, a middle school edition for grades 6 through 8 and a high school edition for grades 9 through 12. And in the near future, we'll have pre-K available too. Most importantly, the topics are comprehensive. They cover multiple topics in just 2 lessons per school year. We make it easy for schools to meet all the requirements with these 2 lessons, and they don't need a variety of programs. One program covers all the topics that are required. MBF is built on, the programs are built on 2 foundational elements, the MBF 5 safety rules and safe adults, which is what allows us to be able to cover multiple topics in a much more brief way. Research says that we should teach children rules about safety versus things like feelings that can be hard for a child to interpret, like uh-oh feelings. And once they learn the 5 safety rules, they can use these in any unsafe situation. So we don't have a long time to explain what to do if they're being bullied, if they're being sexually abused or exploited online. They will know what to do based on these 5 safety rules. We also teach kids to identify and talk to their own safe adult. So then they're empowered to choose who that person is for them. If they're ever unsafe or hurt, what they might need to go to that adult about. Why a safe adult versus a trusted adult? Because unfortunately, research shows us that 90% of abuse happens to a child by somebody that they know, love, and trust. So that's why we use the terminology safe adult. We talk to them about the characteristics they would want their safe adult to have, what they might have to talk to a safe adult about, and what to do if a safe adult doesn't help them, or they might need to have to tell again if they didn't get the resolution that they needed if they came to a safe adult. In terms of personal and general safety, we teach them very basic concepts to recognize safe versus unsafe situations, to use the 5 safety rules to recognize and respond appropriately to any unsafe situation, how to identify and talk to those safe adults when they recognize that unsafe situation or have been hurt, and then red flags, or possibly commonly referred to as grooming behaviors and tactics. In grades K through 2, this is done through verbiage such as safe versus unsafe touches. Beginning in 3rd grade, there are topics that are taught. The topic of sexual abuse is taught in reference to, it's done in a very brief, to the point type of way, but it's presented so that it provides them just the right amount of information they need for their age. With younger students, it's made clear that it's never a game and that it's never safe to keep a secret. In terms of bullying and cyberbullying, we teach them what it is not, behaviors that can prevent bullying and cyberbullying, how to report, how to use safety rules to prevent, recognize, and respond to bullying and cyberbullying, how to identify and talk to their safe adult. Some of the things to keep in mind in terms of why kids don't report, they're often afraid that the intervention will make it worse. Sometimes they believe that they've done something to deserve it, or they're afraid that they themselves will get in trouble as a result. The number one reason with cyberbullying that kids don't report is that they're afraid their parents will take away their technology. And unfortunately, as they get older, this becomes more difficult for parents and guardians in a child's life to monitor this. When we're talking about digital or internet safety and digital citizenship, it would be impossible for us to obtain all the knowledge that we would need to become educated on individual apps. So the program teaches kids good digital behaviors and citizenship. For example, who is looking at their online profiles, when and what to post and what not to post, how to make decisions about what they should post, how to use safety rules to avoid the digital dangers, and how to be safe using digital technology. Digital red flags, again, those choices, safe versus unsafe, healthy versus unhealthy type choices, relationships and attachments that are created online, privacy settings, the amount of time that they're spending online, as well as their character and reputation. As students get older, the importance of digital awareness and self-management becomes key in these conversations. To learn even more about the risks of bullying online and off and other risks associated with technology use, please take advantage of our free online training referred to as Real World Safety, Protecting Youth Online and Off. Or you can further investigate the topics with visiting irock2.org. irock2.org is the founder of the public and permanent that we often use throughout our lessons in terms of digital citizenship. So again, students are taught strategies to become smart digital citizens to help them be safe online, and the importance of creating a good digital reputation. When it comes to child sexual abuse, exploitation, and human trafficking, we teach them to recognize safe versus unsafe situations, who harms kids and how, online exploitation, trafficking, recognizing red flags, how kids and teens can be targeted, how they can be tricked into giving information or gathering information, reporting resources, and getting help if there is ever a concern or an unsafe possibility. Teen dating, violence, and relationship abuse. We teach students to identify, beginning in 6th grade, what healthy relationships look like, personal boundaries that need to be created, what relationship abuse is, how to recognize those indicators, and how to use the safety rules to get help if they are ever in an abusive relationship, and or how to help others if they know of somebody else in that type of unsafe situation. And by using the mental health substance abuse supplemental lessons that we've created, you're also meeting the requirements for those mental health substance abuse prevention using the same consistent messaging and our safety rules. Again, so you're not having to teach them additional concepts. Those topics include mental health and wellness, reducing stigma, healthy versus unhealthy choices and coping skills, self-harm and suicide, alcohol, tobacco, nicotine, drugs, related language, addiction, help, and resources. And what can parents do to get involved and to help in terms of partnering with prevention? Some of the things that you can do is be an advocate, ask questions to what your school is doing to address these topics, these required instruction and reporting for the state. You may not be in the position to deliver the curriculum yourself, but there are still ways you can support and advocate for it. Learning more and sharing our message, our programs, follow us on social media, resources, learning opportunities such as the one you've attended and joined today, and then talk to your child. Having a common language with your student and being aware of how we talk to students can be a big help when you're using the same terminology. And then, are we in your child's school? Again, ask questions. You could push the information or talk more about the information in PTA meetings. School advisory council meetings are a great opportunity to get involved at your school, but just so that you guys are aware of the program reach. We have trained more than 5,000 facilitators in the state of Florida. More than 5 million students have been reached, and that we are in a school in all 67 Florida counties are using MBF programs, at least one school, but we are provided at no cost to Florida and public and charter schools. So certainly ask, are we in your child's school? We have additional resources that can be a big help. Again, using that common language when talking with your own child. Different resources such as online trainings for recognizing and reporting child abuse, real world safety, protecting youth online and off, protecting children from sexual abuse, or preventing, recognizing, and responding to human trafficking. And in addition to those topics, sharing those with people at your school, but safety briefs that help you continue the conversation at home with your own child and can help to educate you about where your child is age and developmentally. So these are some of the specific trainings I mentioned on our website. Those are free of charge. They are approximately 1 hour in length for each of those individual topics. I mentioned following us on social media to stay informed. We have a blog and a free Child Safety Matters mobile app that you could follow. But there's always updated relevant information in terms of those blogs and keeping you informed throughout the year. We also have the recorded webinars such as today's, but additional topics from the past, such as Let's Talk About Prevention, that contains lots of experts in the field to further educate yourself. And if you ever have questions or would like to gather more information, please feel free to reach out to us. You can email us at info@mbfpreventioneducation.org or find many of the resources that I mentioned on our website at www.mbfpreventioneducation.org. Thank you for partnering with us to learn more about prevention requirements and how to help better protect your children.